Welcome back. For this month's Creatordale, we have Rob Rindfuss and Nathan Colombo joining us this morning. And Rob, you're familiar with the TV world. You've been producing, editing, directing for 20 years, but also you have a podcast that you just relaunched, and it's called Just Plain Nonsense. So tell us a little bit about who you are. Tell us more.
Okay, so I started back in the days of MySpace. I wanted my MySpace page to look cooler than everybody else's, so I started to learn HTML, and that got me into like animation and learning 3D modeling and design and things like that. And then I got into web design, and then that took me into video production. So it's like, it was kind of backwards a little bit. I think a lot of people start in video production and then move on to the other things. But yeah, so I did that, and then I've been doing video production and producing and directing actual like TV shows and short films and things like that for 20 years.
That's impressive. And so talk a little bit about this podcast that you have also just relaunched. What's this podcast all about? So
it basically is just an entertainment podcast. We talk about literally anything, which hence the name, Just Plain Nonsense. And so since we're relaunching it, we've rebranded it because it used to just be Just Plain Nonsense as the name of the podcast, but we've rebranded it to where Just Plain Nonsense is the name of the brand, and nonsense.podcast is the name of the podcast.
Oh, cool.
And we talk about whatever, like literally anything from like the faster than light travel all the way to like the normal spiel that I give, I can't say. I don't think I can say on TV. It's a little. It's just silly. It's just silly. It's silly
plain
entertainment.
Nonsense, Rob.
He says that to me all the time. Like that's his little catchphrase about that stuff. But yeah, it's just fun entertainment.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And so then, where does kind of Creatordale come in with all of this? There's a partnership here, isn't there?
Yeah. So Rob is our third business partner. Mike, who you would have met on the very first Creatordale summit that we did over a year and a half ago. And myself and Rob have this production studio at the SIU Small Business Incubator, and it's open now.
That's awesome.
So Rob is able to relaunch his podcast, but so many other creative projects are now on the docket, whether it's ones that we know about or whether it's ones that folks want to bring to us now. Right? We've got the psych wall finished, we've got our little recording corner done, and it's set up as the model studio that we hope to develop and showcase what the potential is to develop larger development spaces in Carbondale and Greater Southern Illinois.
Yeah, and so what's the benefit of having this studio available in Southern Illinois? You know, is there a pretty big benefit for you all?
Yeah, I mean, a benefit for us, a benefit for the creative community, a benefit for the businesses that we want to work with. You know, this is something where the resources that we have available through our production studio have often been cordoned off into spaces like this. A real television station like here at KFES 12, where often you guys aren't open to the general public for somebody to come in and use your psych wall, to use your cameras, to use your lights and all the equipment that's here. We built something that at scale is usable for the general public, that people can come in, rent, and have access to professional level television and film production resources that they would otherwise not have access to.
That's super cool that you guys are offering that to the community, because it's not every day that a person who is a creator has this in their home. Most people don't have a full-on studio in their home, and so for people to have access to that, that is only going to help them flourish so much more. So how do people go about getting in contact with you guys to rent out the space to use?
Yeah, absolutely. So the website is brand, B-R-A-N-D, ad group.com, and there's a little form you can go online, fill out, and we'll be in contact with you if you'd like to use the resources that we have available.
And so obviously, you know, you guys are creating stuff in there as well, as this is your studio. You guys are using this studio for the podcast, which is super cool. Do you guys have other things in the works that you guys are going to be doing?
Well, we are going to start bringing through more folks for this segment that are actively using our resources. I can think of our friend Amber, who is producing a Dungeons and Dragons like series for TikTok, where we've been working on green screen activity for probably a good 8 months now, and that's only going to get better now that we're going from just a little pop-up green screen to a full-size psych wall, where we can do all sorts of interesting things, just like these couple of psych walls that we see positioned in your guys' studio right now.
That is super cool. I feel like you guys are really onto something, and you guys are really helping, you know, the people who are creators over in Southern Illinois and just around the area to really express themselves and have the opportunity to do that in a place where they can easily do that. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy for you all for launching your studio. That is such great news. We'll be back in just a bit.